Hi, welcome to Here4U training course. In this module we will gain knowledge and skills related to stress management, which you can use in your work as a carer for seniors. Each of us has bad times. Then we see the whole world in grey colors. This condition is usually associated with too much stress, filling most people's lives. However, stress is a permanent element of our lives and we must develop the skills to deal with it. To manage stress, you must first understand what stress is. Stress is a state of tension caused by a difficult situation that we cannot cope with. It is a state of increased nervous tension. It is a reaction to the threat, but also a strong focus on performing some difficult task. We also call stress certain events in our life, most often difficult, unpleasant and undesirable, or we describe our internal state, experiences, tensions, anxiety and other unpleasant emotions. Stress is also a reaction to the change that we constantly face in life and participate in. Stress is a specific reaction of the body to the requirements set for it. These requirements can be both biological and psychological, which is why we are talking about biological stress and psychological stress. Biological stress occurs when requirements affect our physiology, that is, all external and internal physical factors. External factors, for example, is like working at certain temperature or humidity, working in a room where there is an unpleasant smell or increased noise. Internal factors are, for example, increased body temperature, severe cold or back pain. Psychological stress has a more complex phase and arises when we more or less consciously interpret the requirements set for our body. This stress is often associated with satisfying or being unable to meet our needs. It affects our emotional responses and shapes our motivation to act. To be able to develop stress management skills, we need to take a closer look at stress triggers, meaning stressors. Everything in the world can function as a stressor, from the sudden worsening of the student's health to the mosquito flying in the room, from the bird's twitter in the morning to the imposing family of the patient, from the doctor visit to the report submitted to the manager. Everything can cause stress. Everything can be a stressor. Also, stupid intrusive thoughts and imaginary danger can function as a stressor. Whether a given event is a stressor for us depends on how we assess the situation at the moment. According to Lazarus and Folkman, stress is a specific relationship between a person and the environment, which is assessed by the person as a burden or exceeding his resources and threatening his well-being in a stressful situation. Man's beliefs, values and skills are confronted with the requirements, limitations and resources brought by the situation. This relationship is referred to as the transaction that takes place between a person and the environment. When a stressful event occurs, we first carry out the initial assessment. We assess the situation we are dealing with. Is the event threatening and to what extent? What does the situation mean to me? Is it irrelevant? Is it favorable or positive or stressful? If I judge it to be stressful, is it harm or loss refers to the damage that has already occurred, for example, accident and injury to a person under the care. Threat refers to damages that we anticipate to occur. Challenge indicates your own assessment of your ability to control the situation. If the situation is assessed as stressful, then the adaptation process is started, meaning we start to cope with the situation. The course of the process of coping with the stress depends on secondary cognitive assessment, i.e. identifying what options we have to deal with the situation, taking into account, for example, the location of the source of the threat, our personality factors, the hierarchy of needs, valued values, belief system, disposition for specific responses. Stress is a natural, inevitable part of our lives, which is why it accompanies each of us. It is a reaction to everyday challenges and life's changes, not only negative but also positive. Talking with the mentee's family can be stressful, but also positive. For example, participation in the public presentation of a prize for a good job. Let's follow to the next video. We'll talk about sources of stress and how it is important to caregivers' work.